Hello everybody, my name's Andy and I started learning Tagalog about 1 month ago, maybe a little bit longer, and I just want to share with you in this video the things that I found easy and the things I found difficult about this language. So I read something on the internet saying that Tagalog is one of the easiest languages to learn, but is any language easy or is any language difficult to learn? I guess it depends on your own language and which languages you've previously learned. So please stay tuned for this video and I'll be showing you some of the examples of why I think this language is in some ways easy and in some ways difficult. I've been learning Tagalog for about 1 month now and I'm finding it really interesting because the grammar is different to English. And there are some features of the grammar that I've not come across before in any other language. So let's go through some of the things that I found. But first of all, I want to talk about some of the things I found easy in this language. So first of all, there are lots of cognates between Spanish and Tagalog. So obviously Philippines was colonized by Spain and the language has seen a few different changes over the years, a few different reforms. And the language was last changed in the 1930s to include the Latin alphabet, and lots more Spanish words I think were adopted and used as the norm. So now, for example, some of the Spanish words like pero, which is but in Spanish, is exactly the same in Tagalog. And another one example is sombrero, which is hat. But as you can see here, the Spanish spelling sombrero, S-O-M, is different to the Tagalog spelling with S-U-M, but pronounced the same, sombrero. Another one that's pronounced the same is coche, which is car in Spanish, and coche is spelt K-O-T-S-E in Tagalog, so it's different spelling, the same pronunciation. And this is because the Tagalog alphabet, the letters are pronounced in a different way to Spanish. And there are even loanwords from English to Tagalog. So for example, please is please. It's pronounced slightly differently, like in Tagalog, please. So those are things that you can have a head start in. If you know Spanish and if you know English, you can have a head start in Tagalog, because you'll find lots of cognates. The number system is quite easy as well. So first of all, for telling the time in Tagalog, Spanish numbers are used. So for example, horas tres is 3 o'clock, horas cuatro, 4 o'clock, horas cinco, 5 o'clock. And then the numbers, Tagalog numbers, are used for counting. So I learned the Tagalog numbers, isang, dalawa, tatlo, apat, lima, anin, peta, walo, sham, sampu. I hope I said that right, 1 to 10. When you get to the numbers above 10, it's very logical. You just have a prefix that adds on at the beginning for the teenage numbers, and then something else for 20, 30, 40 and so on. And then you just say for 21, 20 and 1. So it's quite straightforward. Right, so that's the easy side of Filipino. So Tagalog's really easy, right? I'm finding it easy. No, grammar is quite different to English, and I hope to get my head around the grammar quite soon so that I can know how to form sentences. So I'm learning Tagalog with Pimsleur, and Pimsleur is completely audio. So I say completely audio. There are flashcards and tests that you can do on Pimsleur as well. So it's not completely audio, but mainly audio. And I'm learning how to say sentences, but I'm just learning them without really kind of knowing what the grammar is. And that's not normally a problem for me, but I want to know about the grammar in this case because it's so different to English. I want to know what I'm saying, which words mean what. So let me explain something to you. So every language has components. So we have nouns, verbs, adjectives, pronouns, etc. And in Tagalog, there are two things that don't exist in English. One of them is ligatures. So ligatures connect words together to give meaning to a sentence. So, for example, two words might connect together with a suffix at the end, and the suffix will belong to both one word and another word, so that you can see those two words are connected. Okay, so this doesn't exist in English, although I came quite close to this in Sorani, where Sorani has lots of prefixes and suffixes. So it's a kind of similar thing, but not quite the same. And then the second thing that we don't have in English are particle words. Now, I've come across particle words before in Mandarin, and in Mandarin, for example, the word ma, when placed at the end of a sentence, changes a sentence into a question. So, for example, 我需要休息 means I need to rest, and 我需要休息吗 would be do I need to rest? So you can see that ma at the end completely changes the sentence, and this is the same in Tagalog with the word ba, but the word ba doesn't always come at the end of the sentence. So this is what I'm having trouble with. So going back to ligatures, the most common ligature in Tagalog is the word, or I don't really think you class it as a word, but it's a suffix, ng, which is pronounced ng. So let's have a look at some sentences. So the sentence, what do you want to do, is anong gusto mong gawin? Anong gusto mong gawin? So anong gusto mong gawin means literally what want of you to do. So the sentence order, the word order, is almost similar in English. It's just want and you changing around the other way. So what want you to do. Many sentences in Tagalog start with the verb though. So this isn't kind of like some sentences don't start with the verb and some do. So what want of you to do. So you can see gusto is one of those Spanish loanwords. But at the end of what and you are ng, so they're connecting what and you together as a kind of an action. Okay, right, so I need to get my head around that still. And then let's just have another look at another sentence similarly. So you don't want to drink coffee with me is ayaw mong uminom ng kape kasama ako. Sorry about the pronunciation there. So firstly, ayaw is don't want. So it's a separate word, separate verb in Tagalog to gusto. And you can see the two ligatures are there again. So again, connected to mo, which is you, mong, and connected to uminom, which is to drink. But uminom, because it ends in a consonant, it can't have ng attached to it. So ng is separate. Okay, got me so far? Right, let's have a look at some other sentences that are with the verb at the beginning. So I've chosen this sentence first because you can see two loan words in Spanish here. So cerrado means closed. So it's cerrado in Spanish, but spelled completely differently in Tagalog. And tindahan, which is like tienda in Spanish, means shop. So this sentence, literally word for word, is closed of that shops, closed of that shops. So the word na there is actually a particle, and it's kind of implying that it's finished. So it means that already, in a way. So na could mean already, or it could mean completed. So it's like shops, closed, completed, or closed, finished, or closed already. Those shops, closed already. Those shops. So that to me is really different to English. Here's another sentence. So, apat ang anak namin. So we have 4 children. So the verb to have, as in terms of possession, doesn't exist in this sentence because to have is mayroon, and it's not there. So when you say I have children, you have to say for the child hours, for the child hours, number 4, the child hours. So that's very different to English as well. And then another one, just want to show you another different sentence, is kasama namin ang mga anak namin. The children are with us. So kasama namin is together with us. Those children ours. Okay. And then one more sentence I'm going to show you. So magdadala yata akong kotse. So I think I'll bring a car. So magdadala is when you see mag in Tagalog, it implies the future. So magdadala is will bring. Yata is think. Ako, I, and then the ligature car. So does that sound confusing to you? Yeah, I'm having trouble with getting my head around the sentences, but I can memorize those sentences and I can reproduce them, but I'm going to find it difficult maybe to form sentences yet, because I know it's only early days. I've only been learning this language for a month now. But the good news is that I've been speaking to people in my shop, and I've realised that there are lots of people from the Philippines around in my neighbourhood. And I've actually spoken to 5 or 6 people from Philippines in Tagalog, only very, very basic. You know, I've said to them magandang tanghali, which is good lunchtime, or magandang umaga, salamat, and things like that. And when they've bought something in the shop, I've said the numbers, the price of the goods, and I can say things like that. So that's it really. So if you're thinking of learning Tagalog, I hope I haven't put you off by that grammar, but I hope you'll find it interesting that this language is so different to English, and that if you want to learn the language, you might find it easy to pick up lots of vocabulary because of the Spanish and English cognates in the language. So if you start off with loads of vocabulary, and then you can maybe suss the grammar out later. So thanks very much for watching. I'll try to make a video in Tagalog soon, one day maybe. And salamat, and thanks for watching.